I'm so tired of liberals ghosting half this country. Conservatives do it too, but not nearly as much. Look, whoever's doing it, it's got to stop, because we're at a point now where politics has broken up more families than letting your wife see your phone.
Politics in America has moved beyond rallies and voting booths. It has entered people's homes. Families that once shared dinners now avoid each other. Parents and children stop talking. Long friendships disappear overnight. Bill Maher argues this isn't normal political disagreement, it's social breakdown. Disagreeing over policy is healthy, but cutting people out of your life over a vote is something else entirely. When politics becomes more important than family history, shared memories, and basic respect, society starts losing balance. Maher warns that a country cannot function when half its population is treated as morally unfit for conversation. Democracy depends on coexistence, not purity tests. If people cannot tolerate disagreement inside their own families, how can they live peacefully with millions of strangers who think differently?
On the liberal side, there's two camps now. The we need to keep talking to people wing and the go no contact wing. That's what they call it now, go no contact. This belief that Trump voters, even if it's your own parents, are too deplorable for human contact and must be cut off. You know, like Scientologists do to suppressive.
A growing number of liberals now promote something called go no contact. The idea is simple. If someone voted for Trump, even if they are your parents or siblings, you should cut them off completely. Maher compares this mindset to religious shunning. It's not about protecting yourself from harm, it's about punishing belief. Instead of debate, people choose exile. Instead of persuasion, they choose silence. Maher says this approach doesn't make society better or more just. It only deepens resentment and hardens divisions. Cutting people off doesn't change minds, it guarantees they'll never listen to you again.
A former speechwriter for Obama named David Litt wrote an op-ed this year called, "Is it time to stop snubbing your right-wing family?" where he admitted he'd had a change of heart, and that was the wrong approach. So, of course, then the woke wing tried to banish him for breaking ranks on their policy of hating people who don't agree with you on everything, because what fun is life if you're not cutting somebody off?
There was a time when talking to people you disagreed with was called conversation. Today it's called betrayal. Maher points out that many on the left now believe even engaging with conservatives is dangerous. Dialogue is framed as weakness. Listening is treated as approval. But Maher argues the opposite. If your ideas are strong, conversation should help you, not threaten you. Avoiding debate signals fear, not confidence. A movement that refuses to defend its beliefs in open discussion is quietly admitting doubt.
Mr. Litt asked the question, what has all this banishing accomplished? Oh, I know. A second helping of MAGA, that's what. Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey.
Maher highlights how extreme behavior is now praised as moral courage. When public figures admit they've cut off family members over politics, they're often applauded. No one asks whether destroying relationships actually helps democracy. Instead, it's framed as standing on the right side of history. Maher challenges this thinking. Moral superiority that requires cruelty isn't moral at all. If your values demand isolation, humiliation, and social punishment, maybe it's time to question the values, not the people who disagree with you.
I can think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics, they make them rethink you. Somewhere along the way, my values became code for I'm the only one with a moral compass. You know what would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power. And I say that as someone who votes Democratic. As I like to remind my very pure friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
Political beliefs have stopped being opinions and started becoming identities. Maher notes that many people now judge intelligence, kindness, and even worth based solely on voting behavior. Some refuse friendships or relationships with anyone from the other side. This turns politics into tribal warfare. Once that happens, facts stop mattering. Listening stops mattering. Winning becomes more important than understanding. Maher warns that when politics replaces personality, empathy disappears. and society becomes colder and angrier.
Can we please try to remember, especially at this time of year, that most people don't decide their politics. They inherit them. It's about where you grew up in America, what your parents taught you, your life experiences, your religion. Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia was here recently, and I was amazed by the number of people who reached out after the show to say, wow, I kind of like her. Yeah, that's been my line for a while. Everyone's a monster till you talk to them.
Maher makes a crucial point. Democracy is built on disagreement. The founders expected citizens to argue, clash, and compromise. What they didn't expect was mass refusal to engage. When one side treats the other as untouchable, democracy weakens. Laws lose legitimacy. Institutions lose trust. Maher argues that disagreement handled with respect strengthens a country, but silence and exclusion tear it apart from the inside.
On our overtime segment that night, someone asked about the alien spaceship. Maybe you've been reading about it, the 3-1 Atlas comet that's headed to Earth and will arrive on December 19th to wipe out all life as we know it. It's a joke, don't worry. And when I quoted people in our own Defense Department who had said, well, hold on, what you think might be aliens actually could be fallen angels or demons. Marjorie agreed, saying, absolutely. She said, I'm a Christian conservative, angels and demons, that's what we believe. Okay, I think that's nuts. But you know what? So is this a girl or a boy? I can't tell.
This culture doesn't only target conservatives. Maher points out that even liberals who question the no-contact mindset are attacked. When a former Obama speechwriter admitted cutting off family was wrong, he was shamed by his own side. Reflection became betrayal. Maher warns that movements that punish internal disagreement always drift toward extremism. If you're not allowed to question tactics, you stop improving and start repeating mistakes.
As well as 1,000 other things about the Trump administration I never stop pointing out on this show. But I'm an adult, and in the real world, there's some people you just can't stop talking to, like your spouse or partner after a bad fight, tempting as that is. Like your of a boss, like your family, and like the President of the United States. This is so childish, so purely emotional. The people who got all butthurt because I had dinner with them, you know, because he's Hitler. Except he's not. So unhelpful and dumb. Trump is the most supportive president Israel and the Jews ever had.
Why avoid debate at all costs? Maher believes the answer is fear. Fear of losing arguments. Fear of being exposed as wrong. Fear of realizing the other side might have a point. Silence feels safer than risk. Echo chambers feel comforting. But comfort comes at a cost. When people stop challenging themselves, ideas grow weaker, not stronger. Avoiding debate doesn't protect beliefs. It slowly hollows them out.
Every year I used to ask Larry David to do real time, and he'd always say, Bill, I can't. I'm not smart enough about politics to do your show. Yeah, I get that now. Because there is no argument here. There's just the sugar rush that the no-contact people get from never coming in second in a I hate Trump the most contest. Really? That's your strategy, to go full high school and tell the guy with all the power he can't sit with you at the lunch table? To borrow a phrase familiar to HBO viewers, you are not serious people.
Maher's most human message is this: everyone looks like a monster until you talk to them. Media caricatures turn people into villains. Conversations turn them back into humans. Talking doesn't mean agreeing. It means understanding reality instead of fantasies. Maher argues that real progress begins the moment people stop shouting and start listening, even when it's uncomfortable.
Axios wrote a column in August entitled 11 Ways to Influence Trump, based on many interviews with people who have done that. Number 8, get face to face. The trick is getting in the room, away from cameras and social media. Trump will say or write horrible things, but rarely in person, one-on-one, where he comes off kinder, more interested, less erratic. Exactly. And there's a bunch of examples of this. Most recently, the CEO of Intel, who Trump was hating on, but then he met in person and now he's a great guy.
Maher's final warning is simple but serious. A society that cannot handle disagreement at the dinner table will eventually struggle to function at all. Politics should never require destroying families to prove loyalty. Strong beliefs don't need censorship or exile. They need confidence, humility, and dialogue. If a movement cannot survive conversation, it won't survive reality either.